what I really like best about the CSSP is how it connects leaders with other science leaders. There really isn't any other forum for doing this as effectively, and connections and networking with other leaders is the best way to lead science societies and make them effective and help them enhance the careers of other scientists as well as the quality of the science that's created. I would strongly recommend membership in CSSP to a colleague who was in a leadership position in science. Doesn't necessarily mean a president, but certainly anyone who's in a leadership position certainly should attend CSSP meetings and be involved in CSSP activities. And I think it's an extraordinarily important opportunity, and one that was so important to me in a leadership position because of those connections with other science leaders. It really is one of the major organizations driving us toward creating the next generation of scientists, because the science societies are so important in that regard. What I really love about CSSP meetings, again, is the networking. Certainly there's a lot of great science that one hears about, a lot of best management practices that we can employ to manage nonprofits of any kind. But what I really like is networking, talking to other leaders, working with other leaders, and understanding what problems they're facing and seeing how I can apply that to my own situation, both when I was a president of a science society, but also afterward and in other kinds of science leadership roles. CSSP really helped me to be a more effective leader of the Association for the Sciences of Limnology and Oceanography. In fact, I credit CSSP meetings and CSSP colleagues and CSSP interactions with saving that science society from basically economic oblivion. And I'll tell a story in a minute about how that happened, but both I and another colleague who was in a leadership position with that society heard a presentation that really turned our society around. In fact, I'd say there are two different presentations, one on publications and publication, the economics of publication, but also the simple nuts and bolts of taxes and nonprofits. So important. I was sitting unsuspecting at a CSSP meeting, listening to a presentation by a tax lawyer who specializes in nonprofits. And all of a sudden I realized that he was describing an extremely dangerous situation that my society was in, even though he was talking about other societies. We were in the position where we had made some mistakes in our hires and reporting that could have actually devastated our ability to continue to serve scientists. I went back to my society, we changed many things, we altered the way we did business, and basically turned that society around from facing what I consider to be imminent failure to one of viability and strength. I would really recommend CSSP to anybody who is in a science leadership position, but especially those who have the heavy responsibility of making those science societies function for creating and enhancing the next generation of scientists in the United States and elsewhere. When I first became president of my society, I was faced with several different problems, all needing solution at once. And some of these problems had been sort of created by past leadership or combinations of various decisions that have been made. And so I didn't really want to consult anybody in my society. Because I'd sat with Sharon Mosier at a CSSP meeting and knew that she was really knowledgeable, I just cold called her. And at the time, I think she was dean of her college and president of a couple of societies and super busy. She because she recognized me from CSSP. She dropped everything and we chatted for about an hour, and she helped me get some perspective on solutions for those problems. How else would you get that?